Good evening, this is Nicola Rule presenting Over to You on HCR 104 FM. My guests this evening are, I'll go ladies first if that's okay, gentlemen. I have Rosemarie Croucher with me, and Rosemarie is the head fundraiser of Chatteris in Bloom. Good evening, my dear.
Good evening, Nicola.
And second and thirdly, however you say that, I have with me Lindsay Benson, who is choir master and musical director, and John Blundell, who is a second tenor. And these gentlemen are with Pidley Male Voice Choir. I did not know Pidley had a male voice choir.
Ah, well, there you go.
And a mountain rescue team.
And a mountain rescue team, yes.
And a mad cat.
And a mad cat, indeed.
It's quite an amazing little village, isn't it?
It is. And a bowling alley and a golf course.
Hidden gems.
Plenty there, yes. Now, Male Voice Choir started back in 2007, when my wife and I moved up from Ilford.
Oh, talking of
Pidley.
Ilford, let me interject. Sorry. We had a call earlier.
No.
Yeah, we did, from Rosalie. We've got lovely names tonight.
We
Rosemarie,
have, yes.
Rosalie, who used to be in the Barry Riley big band with you. So
You're kidding.
do say hello to Lee.
Well, hello, Lee. I'm sorry I don't remember you.
You spoilt it. I was not going to say this.
Half the time in the Barry Riley band I was under the influence of alcohol, so I don't remember everybody.
I think the lady tells me she was a saxophonist.
Really?
That's
Excellent.
a clever instrument to
Yeah,
play, isn't it?
It is.
And you sang at her wedding.
Did I? Grief. Oh dear.
Well, as you said you didn't remember her, I thought I would get one in on her
Well, you
behalf.
certainly did. Thank you very much.
Anyway, let's have a bit of a chat about Chatteris in Bloom, because the two things go nicely dovetailed together, don't they?
Exactly.
Okay. So, Rosemarie, Chatteris in Bloom.
Yes.
What do? Do you plant all those flowers?
I personally don't. There are other volunteers that are currently thinking about next year's design, but yes, they plant all the flowers. They water all the flowers at 6:30 in the morning. We go around weeding. We also do litter picking with the Street Pride and looking after the streets, obviously. And anything to do to make Chatteris a nicer place to live.
You do have some very good displays, I have to say.
We try our best.
And how much does it cost you a year to provide all of that,
Well,
roughly?
minimum I would say about 5,000 for a decent display. Obviously, if we could raise more, we get a better display, and maybe a gold next year.
A gold. So
A gold.
have you had an award recently?
We had a silver gilt for the town.
It's very good.
We also had a silver for our New Road Cemetery and a silver gilt for the St Peter and St Paul Church Garden. So we are
super.
very proud of ourselves.
You've done well, haven't
We
you?
have. We have, yes.
So, as head fundraiser,
Yes.
how did you get to be head fundraiser? Does it mean you're the only one?
Actually, possibly, yes. No, head fundraiser. A year ago, I went to a meeting and they were saying, "Ooh, we need some money." And I have a background of fundraising and PR from where I lived in West Sussex. So, as you do, I said, "I can do that for you." And here I am, on my own. No, not quite on my own. I do have some people helping me. But yes, I'm the head fundraiser. I have all the ideas and tell what people what to do.
And then you convert them into actions.
I hope so, yes.
So what's been your biggest fundraiser to date?
The biggest one is our vintage teas, funny enough. We had our first in May and we held that at the library. We called it Tea and Fancies, Vintage Tea and Fancies. And we had 24 ladies come, but I also had 18 ladies that I had to let down. So I thought, So in June I had a vintage strawberry tea.
Oh, nice.
And we had 49 ladies and gentlemen come. And we will be having a vintage Christmas tea in November, where I'm hoping again about 50 or more people will come.
All homemade cakes on?
Homemade cakes, scones, cream, jam, course, the strawberry tea had real strawberries, and then we have savouries, sandwiches, all with vintage china, proper vintage china, and all of the various things that go with vintage teas.
Oh, it sounds really nice.
Yes, exactly.
I can see you chaps having watering mouths.
Oh, yes.
And so, is Chatteris in Bloom a long-standing affair? Has it been going on for years?
They started in 2005, and in 2005 they managed to get a bronze, which they were very proud of. And then each year over the years we've either got silver, silver gilt. We did have a gold in 2009, and we hoped for gold this year, but didn't quite make it.
But you nearly did.
Nearly did.
So you don't plant up anything with carrots and parsnips and onions and such like?
We don't, but if anyone came to Chatteris, they may have seen my yarn bombing, because this is the other thing I did. We yarn bomb Chatteris, and if you know what yarn bombing is...
I have no idea.
Right, well, it's very current on Neighbours, actually, on the television at the moment. It's knitting and wrapping things around trees. We had 50 golden balls in the churchyard, hanging from the churchyard. Because of the Tour de France, we had bicycles in red, white and blue all around the town, all covered in, I say red, white, blue or floral. We covered all of the bike stands in red, white and blue.
This is all knitted, is
all
it?
knitted or crocheted. And then there's a rather grot spot that I hate at the top of Huntingdon Road. It's on... There's a tractor shed, let's call it, and opposite it is a beautiful floral display with a plough in the middle, and I hate this place. So we covered it in lots of little green and brown squares, which were fields, representative of fields, and that's where the carrots and onions and everything. People knitted me carrots, onions, parsnips, you name it, they knitted it, and we yarn bombed Chatteris.
This is totally new.
Fascinating.
Have you heard of yarn bombing?
No. Have you?
It's a kind of graffiti. It's street art, and I say it's currently on Neighbours at the moment. I say I'm very proud of that, but you could possibly get arrested for it. But the police drive past it and ignore it because it's graffiti of a sort.
You're giving me an idea here.
Yes.
You see.
If you go to Cambridge itself is very into yarn bombing. And you'll see a lot of things hanging out of trees and bicycles covered. It also in countries like, I say Australia, New Zealand, Canada, you name it, they all do it. There's even a National Yarn Bombing Day in June.
Really?
There is.
Well, I thought we were talking about flowers.
Well, yeah, we had flowers. We had lots of flowers. The King Edward Centre railings were covered with flowers. In fact, I had so many flowers. I've got lots left that we could probably do it again next year.
Marvellous.
But I'm not telling you if we are, of
so
course.
you can recycle the yarn bombs.
Yes, recycling the yarn bombing, yeah.
Is that something you could get people in care homes to join in with?
We did.
And children at schools?
Not so many children this time. One or two did, but we're thinking of that for next year. But all of the different groups, the WI, the Emmanuel Church, care homes, as you say, people just gave me knitting galore. I would turn up at home and there'd be carrier bags hanging on the doorstep, and I think, what on earth? And inside were carrots and onions, and I had no idea who it was from. So if you knitted it, thank you.
It sounds a lovely community sort of action
It was
group.
a community, yes, it really was a community event. People just knitted or crocheted.
Could we say they were nitwits?
You could do, but I wouldn't want to upset them.
No, it just sounds absolutely brilliant.
We even had one lady who learned to crochet. Thank you, Heather. She learned to crochet just to take part.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to let me know if you're doing it next year. I'll pop over just to have a look,
Yes.
I think.
Yes, I will do. Yes.
That would be quite fascinating. What happens if it rains? I mean...
Well, it did rain a little bit. Some of the yarn bombing has faded and it did stretch a bit. So my husband and I were going around with cable ties, pulling things up a bit, where they'd stretched. And some have faded because of the sunshine or the rain. But basically, as with any knitting, it'll dry out eventually.
Yeah. So how many floral displays do you have throughout the town?
Oh gosh, I need Carl here to answer that.
Take a guess.
Take a guess. Oh well, I would imagine about a dozen or more planters. We do the church. We do near the bandstand. There's wherever we plant it. Of course, the churchyards.
No, I mean Chatteris always looks quite nice and bright.
Yes,
So you're obviously doing a good job there.
we hope so.
How many are there in your committee?
Committee, there's about 10, but obviously that's the committee, and then we have the people that work within, with the groups. So, but there's about 10, and it is actually the AGM tonight, and I'm missing it.
Oh my
to be
goodness
here.
gracious me!
Yes,
And we're too late to tell people to go to your AGM. Do you get a good turnout?
I'm hoping so. Yes, because we need some more volunteers. We need people to dig and plant and weed and water. I need fundraisers. I need people to make cakes for fundraising. So yes, we need volunteers. So they could, if they're listening now, they can still pop along to the town council office in Church Lane, Chatteris, and say hello.
Or perhaps they could telephone you?
They could telephone me, yes. I can give you my number. That is 077 452 701 18.
Do you want to just say that once
I think
more?
I've put too many sevens in there. 07 452 701 18.
I'm going to count the numbers.
Count the numbers.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, that is 77 then.
077 452.
701 18.
Okay, and that's the number to contact Rosemary on if you are interested in volunteering with Chatteris in Bloom.
Exactly.
Give her a call. We're now going to go to our first commercial break. Good evening, this is Nicola Rule presenting over to you on HCR 104 FM. My guests this evening are Rosemarie Croucher from Chatteris in Bloom, and we now have Lindsay Benson, who's the choir master and musical director of Pidley Male Voice Choir, and John Blundell, who is second tenor. Does that mean you're not quite as high up the scale as the first tenor, or just that there's two of you?
No, there's more than two.
How many?
There's 4 tenors on a good night.
Right. How many of you are there in Pidley Male Voice Choir, please?
Well, if we're all there, we hopefully have about 12.
Okay.
We have, we'll break it down. We have 5 top tenors, no, 2 top tenors. Then there's about 5 second tenors and about 4 baritones. How many does that make?
I think it made 14.
Did it? Oh no, yes.
And if you add
well,
you
we have
in, that'd
been
be
14,
15.
But people leave, you see.
I take it's something that people sort of drift in and out of, is it?
They do, yes. And some people come along and try it for a couple of weeks and realise it's not for them, so they don't come back.
And
Other
people have been here with them, the choir, for 7 years.
Are we a show-off?
No, not really.
So are you the oldest surviving member?
No, not at all. I've only been with the choir for 5 years.
So who started it?
Well, I started it, but it was due to 2 people in the village who, one of who had moved from near where I used to live, down in Ilford.
Right.
And he'd moved with his wife to Pidley, and we didn't expect, when we were thinking of moving out of London, we didn't expect to end up in Pidley. But anyway, we did. That's another story.
Pidley cum Fenton.
Yes, Pidley cum Fenton, yes, as was pointed out to me in no uncertain terms by somebody down in London.
Really? Oh dear.
But anyway, this guy and another chap who I've worked with in the past, not musically, but in other fields, he lived in the village, and the 2 of them were thinking of joining the Huntingdon Male Voice Choir because they were interested in doing something like that, you know. And then I moved into the village, so they hit upon the brilliant idea, as I was a professional musician, that I should be the one to start a Pidley Male Voice Choir. So here we are, 7 years on.
And
we're
several
still
more
going,
men.
and they still keep coming back, so they must enjoy it.
And are you exclusively male? Because I noticed the Huntingdon has a lady pianist or something nowadays, don't they?
Well, we have been known to hire a lady pianist. It doesn't have to be a male pianist. But I struggle through on my own on the keyboard with the rehearsals.
Oh, you are such a saint.
I know. Oh, I keep telling them this.
Now, somebody was telling me earlier that our own Scott Phoebe is also a member of the choir.
Yes, he is, and a very strong member he is too. He's one of the baritones.
We guessed he maybe. Don't know why.
Yes, no, he's very important.
So do you have to live in Pidley to be a member?
No, not at all. My colleague here on my left, John, he comes from Somersham. There's another guy who used to live in Chatteris. He came for a while, but he moved on. But there was a guy from our village. He moved out from Pidley and moved to Chatteris. So he still comes, doesn't he? And then we had someone from Needingworth.
Yeah.
So and so yeah.
I know
So
Needingworth.
it's not just open to Pidley.
So you're very inclusive.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come and join,
So long as they can sing.
as long as they can sing. That's sort of yes.
So are you looking?
Important.
Are you looking for people who've been professionally trained?
No, you don't need to have any experience. John, you'd never sung in a choir
I've
before,
never
had
sung,
you, when
no.
you came along? You don't need to be able to read music, but just enjoy singing. We do nothing too heavy. It's all light music, songs from the shows, folk songs, that sort of thing.
And being based in the Pidley Social Club, there's always the opportunity to have a pint or a glass of wine while you're rehearsing.
I wasn't going to mention that. At the village hall there is a bar which tends to be open when we're there, and drinks do tend to be taken into the rehearsal. And now, in my 40 years in the business, it's got to be the only choir that allows drink in the rehearsal.
But that would lubricate the larynx.
Yeah, so they say.
Oh, I'm sure it
But
would.
I have a little game with them. I wait until they're just about to take a sip, then I count them in. It's like, ooh.
And
Maybe
am I right in thinking, and this is just coming out the top of my head, is Mr. Austin anything to do with your social club?
Mr. Austin.
Perhaps I've got that wrong.
No, there is a Mr. Austin
I
with
thought
the
there was.
club, not with the choir.
No, that's what I
No.
thought, with the social
Yeah.
club. Good little club. They do events there too,
Oh
don't
yes,
they?
absolutely.
Do you ever sing there?
Yes.
Well, we have done. We've done the Christmas. They have an annual OAP's Christmas dinner, and we usually entertain them there, and then in the evening go around the village singing carols.
Very
and that
good.
will be happening on the 19th of December this year.
So on the 19th of December, there's the old people's,
Christmas dinner in the afternoon.
and then in the evening you'll be going round the village
We go
singing
around the
carols.
village with the mountain rescue team.
Do you have a sleigh?
No.
I do know where there's a sleigh for
Do you
sale.
really? Well, it might have mentioned that to the rescue team, because they go around collecting money on
Yes.
behalf of the rescue team, and they have a little trolley, and I think Cranbrook nurseries usually give them a little posy of something or other,
Very good.
and so that usually goes down well. So weather allowing.
Well, don't forget, if you need a sleigh,
we
I know where there's
we
one
know
for
where
sale.
One is now.
Now, this is a marvellous thing, isn't it? This little community radio where we do all
Absolutely.
this mixing and matching of things. How would somebody apply to you to join the choir?
Well, I just think we meet on a Tuesday, and we meet there from 8 o'clock until 10. So if you're interested, just come along to the Pidley Village Hall, and at 8 o'clock, and come and sit in. You don't have to join in at all. Just come and sit in and see how you get on.
And that's on the right-hand side as you're going out to Warboys, I think,
Yes, as you're going towards Warboys.
near
yeah.
the church, before
Yeah.
you get to the church.
Yes, it's in between the church and the Mad Cat.
Okay. So if anybody is interested in joining the male voice choir, then pop along on a Tuesday evening, introduce yourself, and see what they've got to say to you. Sounds as
That's
though
it. That's it. That's all you need to do.
it's all very flexible and easy.
Absolutely. You don't need to sign your life away, and you can come 1 week, not come for another 3 weeks, if that's how it suits you.
But if you're doing an event And you've got such a flexible arrangement.
Yes, it does come a problem then.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was thinking.
we usually get round it. People usually rally round and they are there for the events.
So John doesn't have to run from one side of the choir to the other and sing in a different voice.
No.
Go from second tenor to top tenor.
Or to baritone.
Or to baritone even. No.
I don't know if you could do that, could you?
Well, I've done it. If we're short of voices, I have to fill in. It could be either bass, baritone, tenor, or top tenor. But I'm a trained
I
singer,
think you
so
should
I
just show us the differences between these tones. Could
well,
you?
there's not much difference, but it's just the pitch really. That's la la the bass. That's sort of a baritone. That's a tenor. That's top tenor.
I didn't pinch him. Or do anything else. Very good. I thought you might have given us a tune, actually, but that's perhaps a bit unfair.
Well, I'll give you a few bars if you like, because Rosemarie hasn't heard me, so
Oh, we'd love to hear you.
you can expect this next week.
Can we just turn the mic to you a bit more?
Okay, it'll only be a few bars. So, in the program we're going to be doing some our numeral stuff, but I'm going to be doing two little groups, one of Matt Monro songs and one of Sinatra.
Oh, wonderful.
And this is one of the sonatas. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me.
I've got all wobbly.
Oh, now come on, you two, behave yourselves. That was a lovely little serenade,
was.
Rosemary, wasn't
Well, thank
it?
you very
Straight to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
We
welcome.
don't very often have impromptu singers come in, but just occasionally there are a few people who have the confidence and the ability to do it, and it's lovely, isn't
It's
it?
wonderful. Thank you.
Now, if you want to hear that again, or similar music, the reason I have these two groups here together tonight is because Rosemarie for Chatteris in Bloom is organising an event on the 5th of October, which is
it.
only a couple of days
Sunday
away.
the 5th, yes.
Give us the details.
Right, Sunday the 5th of October, 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. at the King Edward Centre, which is King Edward's Road, Chatteris. And I can even give you the postcode if you want to sat-nav it.
Yes, go on.
That's PE166NG. And these chaps will be singing. The tickets are £7.50, which includes light refreshment. You can buy them on the door, or you can ring me on the telephone number, which I gave earlier, or fundraiser CIB at live.co.uk to book a ticket.
Fundraiser CIB at live.co.uk.
That's it.
Brilliant. And have ticket sales gone well to date?
They're a little slower than I hoped.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so if there's anybody out there listening who'd like to hear
That's it. Please
these
turn
dulcet
up. Yes.
tones again, then the best thing to do is to make a quick phone call to 077 452 70118
That's right.
and book your tickets for Sunday afternoon, 5th of October, between 3 and 5 o'clock, £7.50 a head, with some light refreshment thrown in.
Exactly, yes.
Not thrown at you, but thrown
Well,
in.
it could be arranged.
And that's at the King Edward Centre in Chatteris.
Exactly.
And that the profits from that are going to
Chatteris in Bloom.
Chatteris in Bloom.
Ready
keeping
to
it
start next year's projects.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sounds good. And gentlemen, what sort of menu program? Sorry, I got the wrong word. Program are you going to be offering? What tunes?
Oh, be a bit of a mixture, won't it? One of the very first tunes we ever rehearsed as a choir was Cockles and Mussels, so we'll be doing that. I think you heard that on YouTube, didn't you, Rosemary?
I'm looking a bit blank here. I don't know
Really?
what that is. but
Oh, even I
carry
can
on.
sing that one.
All right.
Cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
Oh, right. Okay.
There you go.
There we
But
are.
not
well.
in tune. Not in tune, I'm afraid.
Perhaps you'll start a ladies' voice choir.
Not with my voice.
Go on, what else?
Well, a couple of songs from South Pacific.
Oh, nice.
As I said, I'm going to be doing some Matt Monro and some Sinatra. Oh yeah,
Bit of
what
Beach
were they?
Boys.
Beach Boys, weren't they? Sloop John B.
Oh,
You sailed
very
on the Sloop
good.
John B.
Yes.
What should we do with the drunken sailor? Of course, that
Oh,
always goes down
great
very
one.
well. There's a song that Offenbach wrote called "The Gendarmes." I don't know if you know that. It is actually a tenor or two tenors or two baritones duet, but we do it as a choir. There's no reason why not. It's in two parts. It's all about being a gendarme.
I see. And does somebody come in with a big stick and take you
No,
all away?
we're not telling. We're not telling.
Ah, sounds as though they do then.
Yeah,
So it
I'm
might
really
be a bit
looking
of
forward
play
to this
acting.
now.
It sounds like a very varied program.
I try and vary it. It's all very light, half-hearted. We take it seriously, but we enjoy it. We have fun. I think you're right in saying, John.
Yes, that's right.
We don't do anything classical. If you want to join a classical choir, then join Huntingdon. I don't know. I've never heard them, so I hope
They're
I'm
very
not being
good.
rude about them.
No, I don't think you were. You were just explaining you have a
Yes.
different genre.
That's it.
Going
It's
on.
all light music.
I like light music personally.
I don't think enough choirs do enough of it.
Well, do you know what? I don't think I've heard Matt Monro in donkey's years.
It'd be
Well, he's
marvellous.
been dead for donkeys.
Well, I know he has, but you know what I mean. I don't think I've heard anybody replicate it.
I know what you mean. Sorry.
I have to be careful with these chaps.
I was going
don't
to say
you?
they're a bit cheeky, aren't they?
They
Yes.
are. You can understand why they don't have women in their choir.
Exactly. Yes.
We'd soon sort them out, wouldn't we?
I see the women, the
Certainly.
wives concerned, are very pleased that I run this choir. I'm doing the villagers' service because they can actually watch Holby City in peace.
Right.
I hadn't
Or they can
thought
listen
of
to
that.
HCR.
My community service.
I actually send my husband to bowls on a Tuesday
There
so
you
I can
go.
watch Holby
He
City.
doesn't happen to sing, does he? Does he sing?
No,
Oh, that's a pity.
definitely not.
I can certainly recommend to you that you should listen to HCR 104 FM. I think that would be a much better choice. But that's only my opinion. However, we're now going to go to our next commercial break. Good evening, this is Nicola Rule presenting Over to You on HCR 104 FM. I've got a combination of guests this evening. If you've been listening, you'll know. We have Rosemarie Croucher from Chatteris in Bloom, and Rosemarie is their head fundraiser. To complement this, we have Lindsay Benson, choir master, musical director, and obviously singer with the band, as we've just heard, and John Blundell, second tenor with Pidley Male Voice Choir. And they gave us a tune a few minutes ago, so they're not bad, you know. Worth listening to. So, Rosalie, Rosemarie, perhaps.
Rosemary,
Beg your
that's
pardon.
it. So, okay.
You have your fundraising event coming up at the King Edward Centre.
That's right.
Just run through it for me again quickly.
Right, so it's Sunday, October the 5th, 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. at the King Edward Centre, Chatteris. And the Pidley Male Voice Choir will be singing, I hope. And it's £7.50 a ticket, which includes light refreshment. And you can buy them from 077 452 70118 or fundraiser CIB at live.co.uk, or you can turn up at the door.
Sounds good.
Wonderful.
Turning up at the door is always quite nice, isn't
Well,
it?
yes.
It
You just might not get any food because I need to know how many to cater for.
oh, I'm sure you'll cater adequately.
Yes.
I've always found that ladies who do.
Well, I have the
good catering.
WI helping me.
Oh.
So, yes,
Oh, you chaps will be okay then, won't you?
You
I
bet.
do.
I bet you'll get some nice cream cakes.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So, are there any costs involved for anybody who wants to join the Male Voice Choir? Do you have subs or anything
We
like
do
that?
have a sub of a nominal figure of £5 per week, so that covers the cost of the hall and any music that we need to buy or I write or whatever, copy or whatever. So that covers all that. Any advertising, that gets covered as well.
Okay, and people can again just turn up on the night, which is a
Tuesday night at 8 o'clock at the Pidley Village Hall.
Okay, and they don't need to tell you first?
No, there's no need. Just turn up and hover around the bar area, and I'm sure someone will buy you a drink and come in and enjoy.
What you're saying? If you just turn up there, somebody will buy you a drink?
Well, you never know.
Oh, shall we go?
I think so.
You never know.
He's made a rod for his own back
He
now.
certainly has.
So, having said that, how many hours a week do people have to commit? Just
2 hours a week, that's all. And but you don't have to commit it permanently. If 1 week you can't make it for whatever reason, you may be working. Some people are still working, and they can't make it if they're on shift work. Other people have illness in the family; they can't be there. But that's okay. You just don't pay your money, and that's it. You're not money out. Let's put it that way.
it sounds extremely flexible. And
Very.
you're all from different walks of life, are you? So you're a professional musician,
I was a
I
professional
believe.
singer. We have two members that are one member is an ex-policeman, another member is an active policeman. One member is a professional decorator. You were an engineer, weren't you, or
Works manager.
a works manager? An ex-headmaster. So it's a very varied.
And our own Mr. Phoebe is, of course,
Mr.
an accountant.
Absolutely. Yeah, so
So-
it's very varied.
A very varied mixture.
Mm.
Any native locals?
Native locals, let's see. No, I don't think there are, no.
Right.
We're all blow-ins of some sort or other.
You found a place you like and you're staying there.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if, as Rosemary is contracting with you to go and sing at her event, is there a cost for that? Do you have any charges?
Yes, there is a fee for that. We try to keep it as low as possible. It's quite nominal, I think. Rosemary agreed to it, so it can't be too much.
Yes, I'm not going to reveal how much, but it has 3 figures. And it starts with a 1.
So it's all by negotiation. Yes?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and I suppose that depends how far you've got to travel and that sort of thing. Now, you're doing another fundraising event, I think, in Somersham this time.
Yes, we are, and I'll pass you over to John because he knows more about it than I do, really.
Come on, John.
Yes, on October the 17th, that's a Friday, at 7:30 at Somersham Parish Church, we are holding a last night of the proms type concert. So not only will there be choirs singing, Somersham Town Band will be playing, Edward Tomanek, the young lad who lives in the village, and will be playing the violin and the church organ.
Let me interject there, because I think in the break you were saying that he's quite a special young man.
He is indeed. He's performed certainly all over Europe and has won competitions and has played for us at the previous 2 proms concerts that we've done, and is a well-known figure within the village.
And he's studying where?
He's studying at King's College, Cambridge, and then every Saturday morning he goes down to London to study at the Royal School of Music. So he has to play in the first half of the concert so that he can get home to bed, ready for getting up at 6 o'clock Saturday morning.
Gosh. So it
So-
sounds you've got a good programme of singers there.
Yes, it's
Or
a very full
musicians.
programme, and it will be rounded off in the second half with a session by David Chambers leading the Somersham Town Band, and at the grand finale where we will all be singing the prom favourites such as Jerusalem, We'll Never Walk Alone,
Land
Rule
of
Britannia.
Land of Hope and Glory?
Land of Hope and Glory, yes. It's on October the 17th, 7:30 at Somersham Parish Church, and the concert is in aid of the Friends of the Somersham Parish Church.
Okay. Do you know how much tickets are?
Tickets are £7 if you buy them in advance, and you can buy them from Somersham Library or at Strands, and £8 if you come on the night, £8 at the door, and that does include a refreshment at half-time at the interval.
Sounds as though they'll be needing it if they start joining in with the singers.
They'll need it for the second half at least.
Really? Sounds as though it'll be quite a good evening. Are you encouraging people to dress up and bring their flags?
They have in the past Flags will be provided on the night. And as I say, this is the third year running that we've held this concert, and we've had sellout audiences on the previous 2 occasions.
Okay, what's the capacity of the church, do you know? Just a rough
About
guess.
120, 130 people.
That's quite a
lot.
significant number, isn't it?
I hope that many turn up at my concert.
Well, you'll have to have a competition between each other.
Yes.
What are the contact details for the Male Voice Choir? Are you going to give us a phone number?
Yes, if
perhaps?
you like. Yes, phone me on 01487 843 938.
And just once more?
Well, 01847. No,
01
01487. Well, no, you never use it normally, do you?
No.
01487 843 938.
Brilliant. So if you are interested in Pidley Male Voice Choir, either performing for you, or if you're interested in going and singing with them, then do give Lindsay a call, or just pop along to the Sports and Social Club, which is easily found in the village, isn't it? And again, if you're interested in volunteering with Chatteris in Bloom as a
weeder, waterer, picker, you name it, I'll find a job for you.
you'll find a job,
Yep.
fundraiser, whatever.
yes, whatever.
Then give Rosemarie a call on 077 452 70118.
That's right.
Good. Well, I wish you well with your event on the 5th at
Thank
the
you.
King Edward Centre.
Thank you very much.
Hope you keep your vocal cords in order,
Oh, I hope so.
and I hope you get lots of people come and support you.
Thank you very much.
Good. Okay, well, that's it for this evening. We've learned something new. I've never heard of yarn bombing before.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I bet nobody else has. Huntingdon will have something to say to you if
When I announced I was going to yarn bomb, several people did say, "What the is that?"
Yes.
So yes,
well, if we start getting lots of woolly things around Huntingdon,
you'll know
we'll know who to blame.
exactly.
Go to Chatteris and have a look there.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it for this evening then. We're now going over to the news and weather, and followed by John Wilson with his soft rock show. We'll be back again, same time next week. Thank you for listening, and good evening.